Well, Shane, it's good to see you. Glad to have you on.
Cheers, guys. Good to see you.
How's the last couple of weeks been then? With obviously we lockdown, not being allowed out, and what's been the changes now? Are you back in the training now, or how's it working?
We've just been back in the past week, but before that, obviously, whenever lockdown was when it first started, we were set like programs and stuff, and we've been trying to keep fit that way, and been on Zoom and doing sessions like that. Like obviously the staff's been keeping a close eye on everything, and it's definitely been different. Like we've obviously never experienced anything like this before, and but it's like you just have to get on with it, and then obviously now we've been back in the last week, and it's just good to see the lot of heads. You know what I mean? It's just obviously it's just maybe like it's just the lads and their families now. You get to go out and speak to some other people, which is quite nice, and it's just yes, and the training's been like the intensity in training since we moved back. It's been really high, and obviously we have to be trying to be as close to our match fitness before the season starts.
How do you find the motivation, Shane, when you aren't in for so long? Because I know, speaking to a lot of players, they'll go and do their bits and pieces, but it's just that motivation to get up and train as hard as you can. You know, they find that difficult when you're not on with other players.
100%. Plus, you're so used to like a routine. You always have that, like you get up in the morning, you go to train, like, but now it's all different. But especially like see us in Millwall, like the motivation's always been really high because we're so close to the playoffs, and like it's one of them, like obviously there's a lot of stuff going on, but for us, like we don't want the season to sort of end as well because we're so close to like a dream for all of us to try and get into the playoffs and see what happens from there. Like but seeing from all like the stats and the lads' fitness since they've come back, it just looks like everyone hasn't really stopped since the lockdown.
You can see, Shane, obviously the journey you've been on the last number of years now. It's basically becoming a young player at Newcastle and then obviously a professional player. But you know, before you got to that stage, what would your early memories be of obviously at Maiden City and playing football and stuff like that as a young player starting out? You know, what was your early memories?
Early memories, probably like the summer camps, like the amount of summer camps I used to go to when I was younger. I think I was going to about 5 or 6 a summer, like, to be honest. Had my mum and dad tortured, and now I loved it, like, and just met so many like new people as well. Each like place, because obviously it's different parts of the area as well, so you're always meeting new people, and it's probably you were probably getting sick of me by the end of the summer, the amount of times I was going, like, and it's just like when I was younger, like it's just football, like that was it, and yeah, it was so like I say, like, and it's just like see Maiden City it's always like I was obviously with Eglinton Eagles before Maiden City, and like I got to a stage with them that like obviously I needed to kick on, and then that's what made me get the switch to Maiden City, and it obviously helped out massively.
I can remember the coaches used to talk about it all the time, about the many times you were always there at the summer camps. I think we had 9 camps one time, or 10 possibly. You were at every one of them. We counted. Starting off when you're younger years, your appetite and your energy and your enthusiasm was unbelievable. I remember all the coaches used to sit down and go, right, I wonder who's going to be first this week. Shane was there, first on the list in terms of the camps. But obviously when we started the teams and stuff, when you came in then too, you know what I mean? That was, as you say, you kicked on, and your training, your application and everything else was really good, you know. I'm sure when we started the teams too, it was good for a lot of our young players, you know, starting to play and starting to get involved in tournaments and stuff like that. Did you enjoy them times?
Especially like obviously the times like we went away to Newcastle, and I think that was probably one of my best memories. And that obviously, I think that trip was absolutely massive for me. Like, and I think that was a trip probably that gave me the chance to go over on trial with Newcastle, and just getting away, like going away and just going away with the lads, and just having that like social side of it, and just like obviously having a bit of crack with the boys and stuff, and it's just like getting away from the family and just experiencing that there for the first time, and that obviously helped for me moving across the water as well. Obviously, like I said, with Newcastle, and then obviously down in Dublin, and then the one in St Andrews as well was another massive tournament that we really enjoyed. Yeah, it was really good.
And it's funny you say that. You definitely had a good group of players at your age in them teams. You know, when we used to take these, like, you know, there were some really good players and some really good talents along with yourself. You know what I mean? And you say a lot of them tournaments and stuff. You know, and they were really, really, really a pleasure to take these guys at times. You know.
100%. Obviously, I'm still in contact with most of that team now, and a lot of lads. I mean, a lot of lads actually. Like they all pretty much all had like trials as well. Like they all have good careers as well. Like playing like over in Ireland still, and they like I said, it was a really close group, and like we went over there to like, them tournaments, and we gave everyone a good game. Like and the likes of Newcastle and stuff. Like we beat them whenever we went over. Like we didn't lose many matches and stuff as well. And obviously, like in the Ulster League, we always won that most times as well. And we know it's a really top group of players.
Good times.
See, winding back here, Shane, just Bogsy's mentioned about you coming to summer camps and that, which he did. You know, I think that epitomises what our next question is about. You know, what's needed for practice for young players, because young players will be watching these with interest and, you know, getting guidance for what they need to do, because sometimes they think practice is a switch on, switch off. But with your practice, I think, you know, you made a comment on it there that you were, you know, torturing your parents. So what would you say what defined you from different from other players in the past then when you were that age? What made you different with your practice?
As soon as like let's say if someone came back from school, like, or during school, or just honestly just having the ball up my feet all the time, and just kicking the ball up against the fence, and just doing little things, like just trying to make up new turns. And I remember, like, whenever I was in Maiden City, you were like trying to make me do, like, say if I've done like a turn, try and add another one straight after, and you would go home and practice that until you perfected it. And I think it was one thing with me, like, say if I was like trying to learn something new, like, like say I was at the house, I wouldn't go in the house until I perfected it. It was just one of them things. Even till now, like if I'm out like doing free kicks or something, like I have to make sure like the last 2 or 3 are spot on, or I'm not going on. So it could be out there for a long time. Like. So I
have to say, Shane, that would be one of my first memories of you, is that it wasn't always that you could do everything at the first go, but you knew that if you come back in the next night in training, you'd have it mastered. No. You know, it was one of those things that there was no way that you weren't coming back until you had it nailed. Like.
That was the best thing about the summer camps, because you always had the next day, like it was like maybe 4 or 5 days, so you had the next day to come in and show, oh look, I can do it now, sort of thing. And I was just on it, like I said before about torturing my parents. I had my dad outside, like had him outside every day, and I was having like one stage that I didn't want to focus on like counting the numbers of many kick-ups I'd done, so I was making him doing the count to see doing what I got, like, and it was just mad, like. And obviously I'm grateful, like there's so much people that helped me along the way, like, and help me get better and stuff, like, so no, it was great.
Just obviously, Shane, when you were younger, you weren't the tallest, you weren't the most filled out, you know. And we always hear it. I think football's gone away from it a wee bit, but you still hear, oh, he's too small, or he's not big enough, or he's not strong enough. You know, how did you deal with that as a player? Will there be, you know, sort of at the younger age groups, maybe moving into 14s, 16s, or when you did move across to England?
See, when I was younger, like obviously, you know, I used to play Gaelic before obviously with Maiden City as well, like, and I think that there sort of like it just toughens you up a wee bit as well, like, and give you that wee bit of, like, I don't know, a bit of street smart, like, so you're like, you just see certain things coming, like, and you try and protect yourself a certain way, and obviously with Gaelic, like, you're getting dragged all around the place, like, so I've had that obviously through my whole career, like obviously the size thing, but I just tried to make sure like my technical side was as good as it could be to sort of help me with the other side and try and get other people maybe to help me out in that way. Like.
There's that argument as well that obviously when you are smaller and you can't rely on power and speed and they throw people off, you actually learn to be better with the ball. You learn to protect it more. You know, because you can't rely on your size.
100%, and that's like going back to it, obviously like the little like turns and stuff, and like practicing like little tricks and stuff, and trying to hold people off the ball. Like you do it in different ways. It doesn't matter what size you are. Like if you're smart, like if you're smart up here, like it goes a long way. Like, you know what I mean.
But that's the thing about you, Shane. In fairness, you know, you're stickability at it. It's a good example. It's a common trend in our country because the physicality in our game over here. You know, it's too small, or that's what we hear a lot from clubs, and we have a lot of players who aren't physically developed yet. So it does take a wee bit longer, you know, to get where you want to be in this country. You know, north and south, as you see with so many of the developers you've gone over. But you've obviously been at the other end of that scale, where you've went at 16 and achieved, which is very rare from here. So again, that's stickability and ability and understanding and determination you had as a young small player kept you in good stead, like, for definite.
100%. Like obviously with the strength and stuff like that, I think that will always like it will come in your like later on and stuff. But I think when I was younger, I just focused so much on just trying to get like the technical side right first, and then I think the sort of like strength stuff things would come later. You know what I mean? That's just the way I looked at it. And obviously people, and then obviously like you'd obviously get setbacks and stuff, and people probably use that excuse saying, "Oh, he's a bit small, he's a bit that," but that's just the people you just got to prove wrong. Just later down the line, you know what I mean?
I think as a player, you can only control the controllables. You're not in control of your size, you know, but you are in control of how much work you do with the ball. And you know, if you're small, learn to protect it. You know, learn to look after it. You know, work on your speed, work on your strength, and as you say, you will grow to what you're going to be anyway. Like.
100%, that's true. Like, and just obviously just keep practicing and stuff like that. Obviously helps massively.
It's funny, like when we look at you, Shane, when you first came in, and we obviously took you in the school stuff at times too, down in your own wee primary school, and then obviously the summer camps, and then we started the teams.
Yeah.
Your practice and your enthusiasm and your will to improve and not worry about size was always there, you know. Funny at the time when you were playing a lot of games and there was a lot of scouts going to games and stuff, they would have mentioned about your size a lot. But as coaches and stuff, we would have said, no, won't matter because he's got all the other things. And we were very confident at the time that no matter what, with your technical ability and the stuff that you were doing and your enthusiasm and how you were improving yourself and your bravery on the ball, which was one of the most important things to becoming a player, we always felt that was right. And that was very pleasing when we started doing different links and Peter Kirkley came involved with your career especially, you know, because he used to come to a lot of our games and watch you, you know. Yeah. And he had he loved your style, you know, and he was, at that time, I remember him saying to me, "What do you think?" And I says, "Well," I says, if Shane doesn't get an opportunity, doesn't become a player, I says, "I'll sell my house tomorrow." I says, "I'll give it to someone." I says, "That's the way I see it." And he says, "No, I agree with you 100%, Bogsy." So it was funny because that's what was really, really pleasing when we used to do the trips with Peter. And he wanted us over. One of the main reasons was because he obviously wanted to obviously see you a lot, and then he took the opportunity. How did you find that situation when you went into Newcastle and Peter and all that type of stuff, when that was your first start at obviously going into professional football?
Peter Kirkley, honestly, I couldn't speak highly enough of him. Like he was unbelievable for like my career as well. Like he played a massive part. And I remember it was a couple of years, like, it must have been about 18, 19. And then I seen Peter, like, at the training ground, whatever, and I was sort of breaking into the first training with him a lot and stuff. And Peter was just laughing, like, because I think he pushed it a lot to try and make Newcastle sign me in the first place, like, and I'll never, like, I can't thank him enough for that. Like, it was absolutely huge for that. And I remember the first time, like, I found out, like I went over I went over about 5. Like obviously we had the trip with Maiden City to Newcastle, and then I got asked to come back and trial, and then I went back about 5 or 6 times before they obviously made the decision. Like, so I don't think at the time, I don't think the academy director was. I don't think he fancied me at all. Like, I don't think he really wanted to sign me. And one of the times as well, like I remember pulling my hamstring, and I was thinking, oh no, that's it done. That's it done. That's me back in there. It's like sort of thing. But I remember like Peter coming over after, says, "Don't worry, we'll get you sorted. We'll get the flights all sorted. We'll get you back over as soon as we can." Like, and he was true to his word. Like, he got me back over.
Peter Kirtley, Shane, give me a life moment. How I would define a life moment is you remember it for the rest of your life. I remember going down to Eglinton one morning getting ready for a game that you were playing on, and Kirtley was there. Right, they watched you. So he was there before everybody, and he got the boat over to watch you that day. So he was driving over. I remember him coming over at least 3 or 4, 5, 6 times to watch you play. So as you say, he had a big influence in your early part of your career to get you into Newcastle. And as you rightly say as well, he stuck his neck on the line for you. So I think you're 100% right in what you're saying about, you do definitely owe him a lot in terms of him pushing you into like a big top club like Newcastle.
Obviously that's the best thing about Maiden City as well. Like obviously at that young age, like scouts come to watch. I didn't know any of that. Like that was the first time hearing. Like obviously Peter came over. Like it's good that like obviously like see if a young lad found out, oh, you've got a certain club coming over, it might change the way they play and stuff. And that there was obviously like I actually don't know like if there was any scouts watching sort of thing. You just went, oh, just another day out and playing a match sort of thing. I don't think it's the pressure. I think the pressure at that age too. If you found out someone was coming to watch, it'd be quite tough. And I always thought like that was the best thing in Maiden City. Like they just kept that stuff quiet and just let you get on with your work. And then obviously if things happen, it happens. And that was the thing with Peter. And I remember that trip in Newcastle. I think it was the Darlington. I think we played Darlington or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And I think I scored like two goals that game or something. I think that was the game. Peter said, right, I think we need to get him over here and see how he gets on. And then obviously the trials were like, the first couple of trials were good, like, but I wasn't like when I first went over, it was definitely a shock to the system. Like the lads were huge and just big brutes, like, you know what I mean? And obviously like very like they all had the technical ability, but they had the other side of it as well, you know what I mean? And then so obviously I went back to Derry, obviously after all them, and then I remember going up to McGee when we used to train at McGee University, and I was you used to call me up to one of the change rooms to tell me like Newcastle's going to offer you a contract sort of thing, and like I was honestly one of the best days ever. Like, and obviously Newcastle was the first club to obviously offer something as well. So like with Peter, like obviously he obviously pushed it, and I think that was one of the reasons why I chose Newcastle over like a couple other clubs. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing as a young player is that not everybody's going to suit every style. Not everybody's going to suit every club. You just have to find that one person, that one club who believes in you, like Peter did for you. If you can get that person and get that person to believe in you, then it definitely does send you a long way.
But just before we move on from Peter Kirtley, I know this isn't the Peter Kirtley show, by the way, but Peter Kirtley found a lot of players from Newcastle. Shane, you weren't alone. Like he had Lee Clark and Alan Thompson, and all
a lot of players.
A lot of players who went on. They have distinguished careers and managerial careers as well. So he had a good eye for a player, like so. Mm-hmm. But just you talk about Newcastle. What was your experiences of your time at Newcastle, from being a trainee, obviously, and a young pro to making your debut?
Unbelievable! Like I was there I think I was at Newcastle for about 9 years. I think it was 9 years I was there. It's obviously a massive part of my career, like, and loved it. It was just the whole city, the staff, just everyone, like the players, the great bunch of lads, like especially when I first went over as a scholar, like, and like so I've like obviously going back to Peter again, like obviously when I first went over, like it was just like a scholarship sort of thing. So a couple of our lads like went over and they had maybe like a scholarship and a couple of year pro maybe after, like, so I was just literally Peter says, like, he said one time, like, he spoke to like obviously the academy director, and he says, we'll just take a chance on and see how it goes. It's sort of like one of them ones. And then obviously just just then progressed from there. And I had Kenny Warden was my manager at the time, and he was another one. He was another massive part as well at that age. Like it's such a key age whenever you first move over as well. And Kenny's one of them ones like he just knows the player. He knows either you like put an arm around him or he needs a good kick. You know what I mean? He's one of them. And he definitely helped out a lot. And he was actually the first one to get me to play left back. At one stage, he was one of the first ones. Like, just not saying you'd say I never once looked at left back.
That's because you were scoring all the goals and making all the goals.
It's weird because obviously people like say a lot about my height and stuff, and then straight away go to Newcastle, and then I'm playing left back. And I mean, it's one of them things. So.
In fairness to Kenny Wharton as well. Kenny Wharton wasn't the biggest player.
Not Kenny Wharton, no.
He made a good career for himself, so obviously he could relate to you. I think he was left-sided as well, if I remember right.
He was left-footed as well. And like I said, the first time we played left back was over in Holland. We had some tournament, and it was one of the left backs got injured, and it was like, "Oh, do you want to just try and like play there?" And I was like, "That's right." So just fit it in, and that was it. And then it was great, especially at that age, like to have another position that you can play going forward. So like if you do move on to other clubs or even up to the first team, you can fill in more positions, and it gives you more opportunities. So it does.
You played a lot for the first team at left back, didn't you?
And most of my games was pretty much left back, and obviously then going through the 18s, pretty much playing left back, left wing. I was playing most time left back, and Mickey McCrum was usually playing left wing in front of me. Like, so we also had that partnership and stuff, and like even like people who's play like big parts in your career and stuff. Like Mickey was another massive one too, because soon I first went over to Newcastle, I was really shy and like I didn't really talk much and stuff, and Mickey sort of got that up. I didn't really know Mickey's like he's a top lad. It's quite like he's loud and stuff, and he likes to got his like tricks and stuff and mischief and stuff like that. Like, so he definitely brought up like a lot out of me and as well. And yeah, so moving on to like went up to when I first got into the 18s. I played most games and stuff, and then one day I remember it was like I must have been about 16, 17. Lee Clark comes running down from the first team pitches are obviously up high in the academies down low.
Aye.
So I seen him run across the pitch, and I said, I wonder what's he running over here for, like sort of thing. And because he was up with the first one of the coaches he was one of the reserve coaches, and he goes, "Oh, I heard him talking to the coach, and I heard him mention my name." I was thinking, "Oh, what's this?" And then he goes, "Oh, Ferguson needs you up to train with the first team." And like my heart just like obviously I'm pale, like but the colour, just must be like a deathly colour. And then so we were jogging over, and obviously when you're like there's like gates, these big green gates you have to climb over. And I remember trying to climb over the gate, and I couldn't because like I was just everything just went out of my body, like, and the gates was just over. He was trying to help me go over the gate and stuff. So went up, and just some of the names who was up there, like it's just crazy when you see like go up close, and it happened so soon. Like they train with them and that gave me a lot of confidence then going forward. I think obviously Kenny played a massive part in that as well. Talent, like obviously a good word, they let me go up and train with them and stuff like so. So no, it was definitely awesome.
Having that intelligence as well, Shane's important, and that's what I think John was alluding there on as well. I know you always had that. You always had that soccer brain. That was always going to stand you good stead. I don't think doesn't matter what size you are there. And when you get in that environment, then if you're bringing that intelligence out, then the football people, like the Kenny Whartons and the Lee Clarks see that, because that's a part of the game, So, and we feel funny. We've got players in that ilk at the minute. That's just trying to get them players opportunities now, because it's even harder now because of the way the game is in England. They used to pick from Ireland and Western Europe before. Now they're picking from all around the world.
Around the world. No, Kenny said to me, like I remember like you always had like a meetings every 2 or 3 months just with the manager. He always said to me like the lads who come over from Ireland seem a lot more hungrier than the lads who are from Newcastle or having their back doorstep sort of thing. Because obviously the lads who have to move over are sacrificing quite a lot, and they're not probably used to all the obviously they probably don't have the facilities that the lads at Newcastle would have, and probably the lads over there take that for granted. And I think he says that you can just see, even with the 3 lads that went over with me, Mickey and Paddy McLaughlin, he said you can just see the hunger. There's a lot more with them lads. Like,
well, just to move on from Newcastle, when did you make your debut again? What age were you when you made your debut at Newcastle?
I think it was about, just about 20, maybe, just maybe 19, 20. I wasn't even supposed to be in the squad, I'm honest. It was one of the lads pulled out earlier that day, and it was between me and another lad to get on the bench. And I remember we were sitting there in the players' lounge, so we knew one of us was going to like be on the bench, and we were like, oh, jeez, this is the Premier League, like, it was against West Ham, like, and then the manager, or one of the coaches came in and says, oh, like, he said my name, and then I started looking, like, see you later, like, someone else, see you later, and then went in the changing room, and then obviously you're just sitting there with all these big names, like, it's just surreal, like, it's crazy, like, when you go in for the first time and you see your shirt hanging up there, it's massive, like, it's absolutely massive. And then that day, it's sort of like, it's just mad how it all plans out, because in that game we were winning like 5-1, just like it was like a league game, and then like you could just hear some of the lads who were on the bench like shouting over to the manager, "I'll put on Fergie now, like we're one leg," sort of thing. Then got on the pitch for the last 30 minutes, like it was unbelievable.
That must have been some feeling.
St James's Park as well, like it's honestly, like the atmosphere there is like no other. Like there's 50,000 people coming nuts. It's unbelievable.
One of my standouts, Shane, obviously I'm a Newcastle fan, so one of my standouts was a Stoke game, which was pretty early. You'll obviously not remember doing Shawcross down in the corner with a wee double drive back and then the drop of the shoulder.
That's what I learned from Maiden City, yeah.
But then you had the shot straight at the keeper. Did he put them in the top corner?
That game as well. Like I was on the bench and Enrique got injured after like 20 minutes. So he told me to get warmed up. Like it's no hard feelings. So nervous, like, and then you get on, and then it's just like things just like it just clicks. You just get on with it, sort of thing. And then the game wasn't going great. We're getting beat like 2 or 3-0 or something, like, but just to be on the pitch, and then obviously, like you said, that wee trick it's obviously a highlight, and I got a bit of stick for it after the game. Like obviously the game was done, and then Kevin Owen shouted over to me like he was on the bus, and then he shouted down like, "Oh wait, do you not pass the ball?" And I was like, I'm just trying to make a name for myself. So it was like if I had a right foot there,
You played over 30 games in Newcastle, didn't you, Shane?
over about 30 games. Over 30 games. I think Chris Hughton gave me my debut, and that was in the cup. And then obviously the debut was against Accrington and Stanley away.
Who are they?
And then
that's a wee milk joke. Who are they exactly? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The second game was away. I started against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and then that was crazy. Like you just walk out and just see John Terry staring at you, and you're thinking, "It's gonna be a long night."
Those 30 games, Shane, how many managers?
I think
Heard of a few, you know.
I think I must have had 3 or 4. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Like, seeing you're a young lad and you're like coming through, and like say if results aren't going your way, and new manager, it's hard for young lads to stay in the team. Things get chopped and changed. Obviously, you're trying to find that winning formula, aren't you? And if things aren't working, then they're going to try and change it. And obviously, at Newcastle, it's huge, like money and stuff. And if it comes to January, if the league's not going well, they're going to. I remember the season. I was in around the squad and stuff playing, and it came to January, and then they brought in about 4 or 5 players, and then it's hard to it's hard to stay in the team after that.
Yeah. What about, you see, when you were at Newcastle, you had a couple of loan spells, Birmingham being one. Where else did you go on loan at that time?
Birmingham, obviously, I had a little spell at Rangers, and then Millwall. Actually, I was on loan at Millwall first before I signed as well.
You see,
so
Is that story true? Was Craig that mentioned it, that apparently he played for Birmingham against Newcastle and Kinnear was the manager, and he says we should sign that boy? Is that right?
I don't like honestly, like the amount of times I get asked that question, like I go back in Newcastle, like my missus from Newcastle, like so I go back quite a bit, and the amount of people ask me that, like, and like I'd love to say it's true, like, but I honestly don't think I don't think it's but, like, obviously it's a story like people enjoy, so we might as well just let them carry it on.
It sounds good. Anyway, how did you find we had some experiences with Birmingham at the time with a couple of players over there on trial not so long ago, and that was a good club. How did you find your wee spell at Birmingham? Was it good?
Like, see, for that first loan spell, it was unbelievable. Just to be like, because I came in at a time like the results were really going well. So it gave me a chance to go. Obviously, if you go on loan and you go straight in a team, it doesn't look really well. So you sort of have to wait for your chance. And obviously, if results aren't going your way, then it'll change things. And it changed quite quickly for me to get in the team. And it was like I went over. No, I used to do like emergency loans. So I went for like the last 3 months of the season. And that first spell at Birmingham was probably the best spell I've had, like, consistently, like, games, like, playing at like the top level, like, and made some great friends there, and like the staff were unbelievable. And obviously I had Lee Clark was obviously the manager at the time, so he obviously had that connection with Newcastle and how I first went, and that's where I scored my first professional goal as well. So it's obviously a club of great memories there.
Big club too as well, Shane.
Massive.
And that led on to, when you think about it then, were you obviously playing a lot more under your international stuff then? How was that, especially them tournaments like the Euros and stuff like that? How did you find all that? That was obviously an amazing experience as well.
Yes, I mean, who's like, obviously Michael came in, and that's massive. Obviously, like some certain managers fancy you and certain managers don't, and give you that opportunity and stuff. And Michael came in, like, I remember, like, he phoned me when I was at Newcastle, just saying, like, he just took over, and just saying, like I was going to be like a part of the squad and stuff, like, and moving forward. And he was great, like, and he said, like, I'm obviously going to get a lot of caps whenever I'm whenever he's manager and stuff, and like he's stuck to his word, and it's been great with me. Like, he helped me massively in my career, like, and he's gave us some unbelievable moments with Northern Ireland as well, playing a massive tournament like the Euros, and just the run we've went on, like, from the start whenever he took over to what we are now is such a difference, like, and obviously the results are showing that now as well.
Definitely, and great experience to get the Euros as well. Unbelievable experience, in terms for the players and what he's done and how he's played there too. Like,
What was your memories of Euros, Shane? Because obviously I went as a supporter, took Josh out.
Yeah.
And we had a good experience. We went to the Ukraine game. Mm-hmm. We also went to the Germany game. Mm-hmm. So there's a wee story about Matt Hummels coming in the change room. Is that true, or is that he came in after?
I think he was like outside the change. No way, because see with Will Greg, like, not the time, obviously, Will Greg's like a song that was massive.
Well, that's all they saw. That match was crazy. The atmosphere in the stadium was absolutely unbelievable.
He, after the game, Matt Hummels came up to Will Greg, like, asking him for his hat, sort of thing. And he took Will Greg into their changing room, like, and Will Greg, he was saying that they walked in and he just seen all the German lads all asking for photos and stuff of him. Like, it was,
yeah, actually sung it in one of the interviews as well, Matt Hummels.
He seems such a nice person. Like, you see his interview, he always has such a nice word to say about Northern Ireland as well. Like, he always said that. Like, we've played him so many times now. Like, so he always has a nice thing to say. Like, especially with the fans as well. Like, the atmosphere the fans had during the tournament was unbelievable. And I don't think we realised how big it actually was back home until we got home and seen it all for ourselves. Obviously, we're seeing videos online and stuff. Everyone going nuts in the bars but that story with Matt Hummels, it's sort of more the other way around. He took him into the change room, like.
But he hadn't played. The best of it is he hadn't played at that point. He hadn't played the game.
Oh,
I don't think he played a man at the Euros, did he?
But they loved him, like, absolutely.
He was on fire.
The song was brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Shane, just all them experiences you've had, making it up and making your way through, and all the adversity that you faced, which you've been very positive with. What experience or what advice, sorry, through your experiences would you give young players now, particularly players in the same help as yourself, plenty of ability, but maybe feel that they lack a wee bit of physical? What advice would you give them?
I think like setbacks are just coming back from like a setback is huge. I think some players take it really well and get their head down, and maybe other players will go the other way, like, and go against some sort of thing. Like, and I learned that quite quickly. Like, I think it was for the Victory Shield team. I didn't get selected for that. I think you remember.
That's right.
I didn't get selected for that. So that was my first setback, and I was just about to go over to Newcastle. So I'm sort of glad I had that feeling before I went over, because obviously it's not all like everything goes brilliant sort of thing. You need to sort of have that to make yourself better. And then obviously with setbacks and like injuries and all as well. Like, in one of the years I was at Newcastle was actually after we played Greece away in one of the group games in the Euros so we were on like a really good run on top of the group and stuff. And then I came back a couple of days after to Newcastle, and then I got injured for like most of the season. Like started this, so it was about September, and that was me done then for the rest of the season. Like, and it's just like, whenever you're injured and stuff, like them little things, like just coming back from that, and it does make you stronger. Like, it definitely does, just mentally. Like, it's you're on crutches and that for months, and just watching the lads train sort of thing. It's definitely a hard thing to take at a young age, and it's just definitely dealing with things like that, and obviously just working hard. And
so what you're saying is setbacks, you have to be able to deal with them. You need coping mechanisms, and maybe it was a good thing you not getting picked for the schoolboys, because you're thinking, because sometimes in this day and age, people, obviously with mental health, we're just coming out of mental health week, it's giving people coping mechanisms. I think we pride ourselves on that. We try to make people mentally stronger. And now it is quite difficult in this day and age, particularly with the state of the education system now, where you have to be very sensitive in what we educate people now in the classroom, and parenting as well has changed now, Shane. Just before we more or less wrap up or round up, we've been very fortunate with like Kevin, your father, and Patricia, your mum, were good parents. We always found them very cooperative, and they were able to deal with the good, bad, and indifferent that you were having, and they always stayed the same. They never changed. Where sometimes now, in some of the parents that we've got, if they have a minor setback, they're on top of you. They get really distraught and angry about it. So I think your parents deserve a lot of credit as well for what you've become as a football player.
100%. Like, especially like my dad, like he's known well. He's just a quiet man. Like, obviously every Saturday morning he was following up to Middle Ulster League games, and
brilliant.
I think about I'd say about 7-8 games a season he would miss the game because he would get lost on the way, he would lose the bus. Like, so it's just he obviously, like, he was like, my dad obviously played like a massive part, like, and he was never, like, after a game, if I played bad or whatever, he would never say, like, get on top of me and say, like, oh, you need to be better. He was always trying to give me encouragement sort of thing, and never like put pressure on me. And obviously with the scouts things, like, he would never speak to scouts or get involved with it. He would just literally just watch.
Did you say you didn't know Peter Kirkley there? Your dad would have knew that he was there, because we would have told him. So the fact that he didn't tell you meant something that he was trying to keep you grounded. I think that's fantastic. For me, that's massive lessons for our parents in particular. Because it's essential that they play their part as well, like your mum and dad did with you.
I think too, like obviously we would do like a lot of stuff with clubs, and you'd watch like help out with the younger age groups and stuff, and you would hear maybe parents like at the sideline would shout a lot and stuff and try and get like involved. And I think that was a massive thing for me. Like, my dad just didn't get involved in that and just let me get on with it and let me deal with like them little setback. Like, he knew that I knew that, like, if I didn't have a good game sort of thing, so he didn't have to tell me. And it was definitely, like, obviously with just in the sideline, it was good. Like, I mean,
in fairness to your dad too, Shane, because he used to come to a lot of our matches as well, you say, or you're speaking to him, like, he was like, we're talking about model players, he was a model parent, because he was ideal for the development of you, and it was ideal for the development of us in terms of helping you, because he, like you say, he never got involved in the opinions of other players, or because a lot of parents get together now and they have opinions on their, that he should be playing. Why is he not playing today? Your father never done that. He always stood away. He always was calm, cool, and collect in terms of everything he done. And very supportive of a lot of stuff that we done too, which was very helpful. You know what I mean? Your mum and your dad, so it just shows you, like, it definitely helps with your mentality as a player and what you did. It was fantastic. Like,
my mum didn't really go many of the games. She was probably stressed on the sideline. I think that she just stayed away.
Right, Craig, we're going to ask some questions now.
You be better doing them. You wrote them out. I've only seen them there.
You wrote them out.
No, I suggested just do a wee quick fire, but you were the one with the question then.
Quick questions, and just to finish here. Favourite memory tournament trip with Maiden City? What would you say? Obviously, you kind of mentioned. What would you say your favourite trip was?
I would say the Newcastle trip definitely was the biggest one for me. Definitely the biggest one. Yeah.
Probably because it set up what you were going to do in your immediate future. Then
it's definitely just the teams we were playing against and stuff. Like, it was like we played against Middlesbrough as well. Like, and just seeing all the facilities and just it was just an unbelievable experience. The whole thing. Like, and
still a massive part of our education program, taking players away for all the reasons which you've obviously talked about. Favourite Maiden City player growing up? Who would you say? That's going to put you in the spot.
I'll probably say, because you'll probably watch this, Marty Gallagher.
Oh no! Don't be telling him that.
I'd say Marty. Definitely Marty was.
Best player you played with Newcastle?
For sheer ability, Ben Arthur. Scary, absolutely scary. What that boy do. He was an absolute character like that. But see, on the pitch, I've honestly never seen anything like it. Like his first day of training when he first came in, like he was just going past people like he wasn't there. Crazy, man.
Best player played with Northern Ireland.
Steve Davis.
Steve Davis.
He's right up there, one of the best I've played with as well, and he's just for the whole thing, like just captain, like just such a nice person off the pitch, and on the pitch, like he probably see that whole like the whole Euros and like the whole group stages and that he was untouchable, like he was so good, like.
Most difficult opponent you played against, you would say?
It's been a few. Not like you want like directly up against, or just who's on the scene.
Just throughout your professional career, Newcastle, Northern Ireland.
I'd say Tony Cruz was unbelievable. Just he was like just seeing him like getting him. He goes a lot into like that left back position, and it's hard for like other players like centre mids and that they follow him. And you don't know what they do with your shape, because you don't like he was just picking passes out for fun from that position. And he was unbelievable to watch. And I'd say another player, probably Robin. Whenever we played him away with Northern Ireland, we got beat 6-0. It was a long night.
It's a long night for you.
That was a long night.
And what was your biggest game you would say you played in, your biggest career game to date, counting all your experiences? Now, don't be saying Darlington at under 16 level when you scored 2.
I'd say it's probably the Euros. It's obviously the biggest tournament I've played in. Like, and playing against Poland, that was huge. Like, and it's obviously a big moment for like myself and my family, and obviously everyone who helped me along, like with my career as well. Like, so it was definitely like a massive moment for me.
And what would you, because you were always a goal maker, goal taker, so what would you prefer to do? Would you prefer to make a goal or score a goal? What gives you the best feeling?
Since I've turned professional, I've really scored many goals. Like, I'll probably say setting up goals. Probably.
always remember John used to say when you were young, before you went to England, about you had that good a left foot, you could knock helicopters out of the sky. What do you remember you used to say?
I don't know about that, but probably setting up goals. Like that's probably just being out wide, like, and probably playing full-back position as well. I probably get a lot more joy from that.
I would have been the same when I played.
I think one of your goals, when you think about Newcastle, I don't know if you remember it, and it was actually good that day because it was the match we played them, we beat them, and Peter was there, and Terry McDermott came down, and Peter Beardsley, and you picked up a ball and went past 5 or 6, stuck it in front of them. You know what I mean? And Beardsley just clapped, and McDermott thought, but that's the type of stuff you used to do as a kid, like, quite a lot, in fairness to you.
See, the thing I had, obviously, like, but see now, like, my game's complete. I feel like it's completely different. Completely different than I used to be. Like obviously when I was younger, like, I found it a lot easier, like, obviously going past people and stuff. But see now, it's like, especially with my last manager, like, we just play like a 4-4-2, and it was, let's say, the wide players get the ball in the box for the 2 strikers, and it was literally now it's like, just get a yard instead of maybe trying to beat them 2 or 3 times and then try and stick it in. It's, let's say, now just get a yard and just put it in, and then that's your job. You know what I mean? And obviously, I think off the ball, I think that's improved massively over the years. Like, I don't maybe when I first went over, probably that wasn't a strong part of my game. Like, and now I've learned playing in different positions, and I help massively. And yeah, so it's definitely helped.
I think too, Shane, too, when you think about it, when you go into professional football, it's a totally different ball game in terms of understanding, you have to win games, the tactics, what way you play, and it's one of them things. It's totally different, especially professional football and international football as well. And the other thing, what it shows you too, for young players that we have a lot of, we have a lot of young players like yourself at the club who've been coming through, who've got the talents and stuff like that. How hard it is to stay in the game and play professional football. You look at all them different experiences you've had, from playing as a young player, going to Newcastle, playing at Newcastle for so many years, going on loan a few times, and then obviously being at Millwall, and the journey, and what it takes. And you says as well what you need in terms of the ups and downs and the setbacks and stuff like that. And a lot of our young players will be watching this and listening to this and understanding, that obviously, because we've worked with you as a young player too as well, and then you've had that journey when you went into professional football, how you've done so well, because it's stickability, which is important.
When I first went over there, I know, like, it's just one of the things that stuck out. It was just like someone said to me, just stay in England as long as you can. It's just one of them things, like, just stay over here as long as you can. And it's like you're saying, it is hard. Like, it's seen even now. It must, like, younger players coming through, it's now at this age, it must be so hard, like, to try and get over, because the amount of competition and the amount of young lads now who all want to be footballers and stuff. It's just, and obviously clubs have got, like, they can pick it, like, anywhere in the world now. So it's just one of the things too. Whenever you get your opportunity, you just got to take it. And obviously, if you don't, you just have to deal with the setbacks and then try and get back as much as you can.
Definitely.
Is that a quick fire question, Buzz, was it?
What's that?
Is that a quick fire question there, was it? Took you 3 minutes.
That's one of my long ones.
Long ones. Hey, what about how just on Millwall then, your current experiences? How's that going for you? You're obviously happy there now at the minute with what's going on.
It's been brilliant. Like, this is my 5th season with Millwall now. And when I first went over there, when I first came to Millwall, I was leaving. I was, like, obviously at Newcastle. I probably could have stayed another year at Newcastle, but it wasn't good for my career at all. Like, because I would have just stayed there for another year playing 23s football, and it wouldn't have done anything to improve me. Like 23s football's good when you're younger and stuff, and it's obviously nice. But whenever you go to play like men's football, it's just completely different. People's playing for different things, like obviously families and contracts and stuff, like, and it's just completely different. Obviously when I came to Millwall, it was brilliant. Like, and I had like a good loan spell, that set me up then to come here permanently. And like I said before, I could have stayed at Newcastle, but I just thought this is the best man. I need to be out playing games to try and keep improving myself, because I was at an important age. I think I was like 24 at the time. Like, and I don't want to look back in my career and not have that many games in the CV because I stayed, just wasted years. You know what I mean? So it was definitely like a good decision for me to come here, and it's been brilliant. Like, and obviously we had the promotion year and stuff, and like a League One, and so we got promoted with Millwall to League One, and then got to the Championship the next season. And then that next season, I played quite a bit up until Christmas, and then I didn't play probably after Christmas until like the end of the season. And then I was nearly going to leave like in our first year in the Championship that summer. And I just thought, like, because I'm not getting games and stuff, I needed to maybe look somewhere else. And then I spoke to the manager, and like must be 2 years ago now. And then I spoke to the manager that summer, and then he says, "Listen, obviously, like last season, but disappointed you haven't played much and stuff. And listen, if you want to leave, that's fine. I'm not going to stand in the way, because obviously you've had like obviously a good time at the club and stuff, and we're not going to stand in your way if you want to go and stuff." And then I was like, I really don't want to leave at that stage of my career. Like, I was thinking, because I want to play as high as I can in the Championship as well. And so I said, right, I'm going to give it this pre-season, see how it goes. And he says that he sat me down and said, "Listen, that shirt's there for you if you want it. Like, I mean, if you like, obviously try and get in the team." So I started the season like on the bench and stuff up until about September. And then I got in the team then. That season, I mean, it's just like them little things. Could have easily left, and then I've stayed an extra 2 years after.
And you're hopefully getting the playoffs if we get back on it. You aren't far off the playoff position.
That's what I mean. Since the manager came in as well, like we just like a new level, and we're playing different formations as well. Like, I mean, it's all different here. Like, and the lads are, it's just on up. You know what I mean? It's really good to be playing, and well, that's doing really well. You know what I mean?
The dogs are hungry up on Maiden porch.
Yeah. So I know we're 2 points behind the playoffs. Like, so we're just going to just keep our heads down, working hard, and see what happens anyway. See how the season goes.
Well, that's good. We're delighted for you. You're doing well, son. Sorry, Craig.
No, I was just going to ask if you've been given any green lights yet in terms of starting back, Shane?
There's no been like official date when the season. I think the Premier League got mentioned today. I think it's the 17th. I'm not 100% sure, but it's the Championship. It's usually like a week behind. So
have you got many games left to play? Would it take long to finish it up, or?
We've 9 games left, and obviously then after, like, whatever happens, like, so you might have like another few after that, like, but we've nine games left as it stands. But we haven't heard nothing. We just literally only got into groups of 5 like recently, just like the first time we started like passing each other the ball and stuff, and I think next week next couple of weeks we might be stepping up maybe to go back to normal training.
Brilliant, Shane. Hopefully it all goes well now to end the season for you as well. Be excellent.
Definitely. It's going to be a bit different, obviously, without the fans, and that's a massive part of our stadium, like, with the fans. Not many people like coming down to the den, like. So it'll be different for us as well. So
it's good with that targeting site. You know, promotion's so close. They've only 9 games. You know, it's like a wee mini season on its own now. So you can just get on a good run. That gives you a good opportunity.
That's what I was saying before. Obviously, we had that motivation. Like, the lads haven't lost that because we're so close to something right now. But we're just going to take it one game at a time, and just see what happens. And we're not getting ahead of ourselves as well. Like, we're doing really well, but still a lot of work to be done now.
Very good.
Shane, we really appreciate you joining us, and we look forward to hearing it and the feedback we get as well. So good luck for the rest of the season. We'll keep in touch here, all being well.
Cheers, thanks so much. No,
Shane, thanks very much for your time, Shane.
Shane, good to chat. Good to see you looking well, and I hope it all goes well for you in the next few weeks as well.
Cheers, no, it's good to see you. Thanks very much.